Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome to my first live. Today we're gonna figure out some things straight up, like how to share screen. There we go. Let's record this computer screen on no, I guess I don't know. Okay, I'm learning. Don't mind me. About to go to Trading View and get us started today. No. Sign in. Let's be patient as I learn how to go live. All right. Continue. Solid. Now we can go on TradingView and get started with today's videos. All right. Fire. Okay. Now let's do that. Oh, it's up. Boom. We are here. Don't mind the mess. Don't mind the mess. I look at the chart in two different ways, just to keep myself from not overthinking sometimes. I'll explain that one day, but definitely not today. That first. No. There we go. Fire. All right, I don't need that. Keep the sessions, keep that for shizzle. Actually, let's hide that for now. All right, plain and simple, y'all. Let's break through what I'm looking at. So, what's on my chart right now is just a sessions break where we can really just look through what the market does each and every day throughout different sessions. I really only trade New York sessions on gold. I sometimes trade Asian depending on how the market is moving for that quarter. Yeah, it just depends. This indicator I use is just a VWAP. This longer VWAP right here is the VWAP for the weekly time frame. This shorter VWAP here that's kind of moving more sporadically is for the sessions. So during, per day, you'll see that it change more often. All right. So just so y'all can understand, I like to trade based off of volume. All right. So instead of using a footprint chart, because footprint charts cost a lot. The really good ones cost a lot. There's our ways to get a footprint chart, or even just be able to look through volume without that extra fee. You can just use like I said, this trading view. What I do is I use this tool right here, this fixed range volume profile. I'll show you guys my settings, but what I want to do is I'll mark out last week's volume, like all of last week, and so we can see like where orders were in the totality. Like there were a lot of orders right here, obviously where these nodes are. You have a volume area low right here. You have a POC where a lot of consolidation of those orders are, and volume area high right over here. Okay, very simple how I look at the market. I wanted to see where the volume is and go from there. And then also just lean into my technicals and also look into the news fundamental analysis to see how that goes. All right, now let's show you the settings of this. Just get this out the way. So right now it's number of rows, row size 128, volume up down, value area 70, and then got a value area high, low, PLC, and I have a developing PLC as well, but that's not necessarily needed. Placements on the left side, going right, of course. So simple, simple, simple. We can go through that another day as well, but you can see. In fact, I'll show you last week, so you can see this, because obviously we're not going to know what this week's looking like. But last week, from last Monday to last Friday, right? No, 2 weeks ago. That's 2 weeks ago. Sorry. All right. So from here up. So from this Monday to this Friday, you'll see where all the orders are, and you'll see, right, for last week, you see that price rebounds off of these areas. It's really like a support and resistance zones. So you'll see right there, it reacted. That's actually like a great swing trade that happened right there. And off the high, it reacted as well, right? So you're going to see how that works. Price comes back to different areas where there were a ton of volume, like a ton of traders, retail traders, and investors coming to the market making huge pumps. You'll see that. All right. That's the start of this strategy I'm going to show y'all today. So what happened in the following week, remind you this, I'm just marked out 2 weeks ago. So for last week, what happened was on Monday, price was in these zones. It rebounded off of this little area low, played around, came up, retested that low, and that's where we could have got into a trade during New York session. 4 buys. Of course, you're still leaning on technical, so we're looking at technical analysis. You have a low, a lower high. You're right. So we have the low. Goodness gracious, my computer is sticky. All right, let's go. So low, lower high, low that didn't meet the previous low, new high, new low. We have a high, we have a low, we have a new high. So now we're in a bullish momentum. Came back, and then you see what happened here, right? So following structure points, you'll see that they were in a bullish market at that point, right? All well and good. So once we saw the change of structure during Tokyo sessions, that change of structure, well, really London session, that change of structure happened where price had went above this last high, broke above that last high. Delete that. When price broke up above that last high, that was our signal that we're looking for buys for the day. We're looking at, Monday and Tuesday. When it comes to interesting. There we go. I don't know. Interesting. So you can see from that angle, but not from this angle. What about now? Learning moment. Learning moment for sure. All right. Back to it. So once it broke this last high, when price broke the last high, we're in bullish momentum. We see that pullback. That was our entry, not entry, but our signal that we're looking for buys. Obviously, this is on a higher time frame. So if we dug deep into, in fact, how do I do this? Okay, things are working. We're learning. Okay. And we are learning. Oh my gosh. Hold up. Wait a minute. This ain't right. All right, my time frames is just a little off. All right, we're back to where we kind of was at. Cool. Sorry about that, y'all. Let's scoot it out. Again, we are in a higher time frame. Trying to learn how to do this on YouTube. Little struggle, but it's okay. So, boom, boom, boom. All right. So Monday, where were we at? Cool. Friday, Sunday, yeah. So Monday, we see what happens. Like I said, we went up. Price came in during that 8:30 candle, pushed down to our VWAP. Like I said, based off of volume. Long as the VWAP is below, we're looking for buys. So that's what's my confirmation. Once we see that institutional candle, I would have entered right here. I would have entered right off of that institutional candle, put my stop loss below, right below there. And I'm going for a minimum 2-to-1, if not a 3-to-1. And truthfully, we could have held this a little longer. If I got down to a smaller time frame, we could definitely get an even better entry. Boom. So easy 3-to-1 just off of just those things, right? Like I told you, like it bounced off of this value area low. Let me mark that out so you guys can see that again. And that's like the basic way of trading with volume, right? I trade with different types of entry models, but this is one of my favorites because it's very simple. And you can see it in real time versus like, doing all this technicals, using only technicals, using everything together, and going with the trend with volume. That is key to being a profitable trader. So like I said, it touched that value area low. It literally wicked there and then it came off of it. So like that institutional candle came down, boom, hit that. You see that it didn't close below the VWAP. Once it rejected, you entered off of the next candle, put your stop loss below the close of that last candle, go for a 3-to-1. You're in and out the markets. No problem, no sweat. Great job for the day, right? All right, now let's look how last week, again, this is just last week. Well, this was last week's trades, sorry. Last week's trades. That was one way of looking at it, right? The next one is you see off of this POC, right? This is where the highest volume was, right? We could have got an entry off of that as well on that Monday, right? On Tuesday was a counter trend day, right? We came back towards the VWAP, which happens, no issue. There's different other strategies I would have used for this one specifically, and I've showed it on my YouTube before. So guys, definitely like look through my shorts to understand what I'm talking about now. But what it is that the market tends to pull through liquidity on top side or bottom side of Tokyo and then aim for different areas. Happens quite frequently. So like in this scenario, that's exactly what happened, but we're not going to go into that. But I want to show you guys if it will let me, because it's a different view right now. Let me see. It's not going to let me. But again, it's a learning process. This other indicator I use. So I'm going to show you guys first. So I use this alpha, activity and volume. These are the basic settings. You use it if you like. I'm going to show you what it does. All right. So of essence, what it does is every day, each session, it will mark out the volume for that session, where the orders are coming from in live action, right? So in this scenario, right, if on the green side, that's where buyers are taking control. The green side, you see this gray little box. If price decides at the top or the bottom of this box, right where the 6.5 is, if price holds this level, you can buy it right there, right? You can buy it right there. Real simple cheat code. Once price closed, you could have did this, put your stop loss below, and go for that. Again, I do not trade Tokyo session, so this is just for example purposes. But yeah, so the opposite side, with this other gray box on the red side, that's for sellers. That's where sellers volume is highest. So if price were at this level and rejected, instead of pulling up to the buyer side like this, if price would have rejected right there, the next candle would have been where I would have entered for a sell, right? This happens every single day. And this is how you have confluence trading. All right. So you see that the VWAP is under. So the VWAP is under. What does that mean? We're buying. The VWAP is on top. We're selling. Got it? So the VWAP is under price. Plus, you see that on this indicator that I just showed you guys, that price had rebounded off of this spot, closed bullish, and kept moving forward. Easy trade. Again, I don't trade Tokyo session, so don't trade NAS or US30 or SPX or any US economy instrument during Tokyo session. I wouldn't recommend that. Just because it would have worked in this scenario doesn't mean it's going to work every day, so don't do that. But it's just an indicator that I use when it comes to volume. Those are the 3 ways I look at volume. I just wanted to show you guys that it's real simple. And I hope it really brought some value to you. And again, this is just a test to see how the live would work. Got 1 viewer. But it's gonna be better next time for sure, as we learn and keep moving forward on how to use YouTube and live streaming. Hope that brought some value to you. Quick 17 minutes in and out. Till next time. Peace.